Welcome back to my channel. Can you believe that September is almost over? Next up is the horror month of October, where we'll begin to see the costumes come to life. Today I am going to share a shaman experience of my own with you, and I hope that you will enjoy it. Mlong ta ne ke chi sa king chi san chai na ma. Min chu mi play nyam bo mi va mi ke. A few years ago, I went to do a house cleansing ritual at a home that was haunted. This was one of those homes where when you walk in, you can already feel the energy attack you from all corners of the house. I felt very uncomfortable, seeing as how I would have to spend a night here as well. I was still a very new shaman at this time, and I was still learning many different things. But I told myself that learning comes best when done in personal experience. In each of the areas of the house, there was this dark energy that seemed to roam, like it had a life of its own. The bathroom was one of the worst because it was a place that you didn't use too often. And when I was using it at one point, I could feel something peering at me from behind the shower curtains. You know those circular rings that are used to attach to the pole to keep the curtains up? Well, using the bathroom, those started moving slowly across, like somebody was pulling the curtains from the other side. So I said, and it stopped suddenly and nothing else moved. And so I did my deed and I left. That night, I got ready for bed, and the room I was sleeping in was a smaller one. It had a small light on top of the bed, like a night light, and I left it on because I didn't really feel safe. When I was getting ready to sleep, I said to my guides, "Ko na ko che ko ne ko yai, ya mi do ya mi hu, mo no mi lang nia lo sho lu to va to che no. Mi shu mo chong bon tao, lo ti thai mi lang nia lu mi ke, lo o lu mi ko chong to mi lang nia na mo." Although the lights were out, except for that small night light, I couldn't sleep. I could hear the floor creaking, and things were moving about the room, like heavy footsteps walking around. And then I felt something across my legs, the light pressure like a cat's paw, walking across me. And the fear in me heightened when I started to question my surroundings, and my guides told me to chant, and I forgot all my chants altogether. And they told me, "Come on, Nia, where is your courage? Don't let little things like this corner you. Remember your chants." And I took a deep breath as the paws continued to walk across my feet, and I started chanting. I felt cold air blow across my right cheek at that moment, like someone was sleeping right next to me. And then I heard voices all around me. And then it whispered right into my ears in a low voice. And I sat up in bed, chanting, rocking myself back and forth. And I could see the dark shadows loom all around the room, and it was crawling on all fours, looking up at me, with dark hair covering its faces. And then as I continued to chant, it began to disappear into the walls. And this continued from midnight up until 5 in the morning. I slept for 2 hours and then I woke up. The following day, we did the house cleansing ritual, and we went into the basement to start cleansing. The basement was huge, but separated by so many different walls, and we arrived to the very far back where I felt a breath of cold air brush past my hair. As I reached to turn on the lights, I turned, and I saw a pair of white legs pull itself up to hide. I started shaking, and I began chanting silently as the room seemed to vibrate some sort of energy that threatened me. And I began cleansing, and I could hear laughter all around me, whispering, and almost like a dance it sung around me louder and louder. until I began to dip the flowers into my blessed water and throw it on the wall. It was then that I heard whatever it was start to cry and plead me to stop. I continued, and I saw a pair of hands in a prayer mode from the corner of my eyes that was hiding behind this wall that led to the opening of the other side of the room. I didn't stop. I collected all the energy into my red string, and I saw the hands begin to disappear. When we cleansed the upper part of the house, each room had a different energy that vibrated loudly, and different sounds appeared. Some were loud and violent, while some were pleading me to stop. And when I burned everything away, I could see them running off into the distance, and the bind that I built around the house kept them from coming back. I usually burn the spirits' money to take with them to build a new home somewhere else, because this house they were residing in was not where they were supposed to be. House cleansing is a ritual that is done to get rid of negative energies. Some houses I walk into and I could already feel everything that is in there, while some of them I have to search for them, and I find them in hiding places like the basement, the little storage space under the stairs, or even the corners of a closet space. I remember once I opened the door to a closet space, and I saw the eyes that stared at me from the dark space, and I said to it, "Get out of here. I see you. You don't belong in here." And it snarled at me until I brought out my sword, and it silenced everything and walked straight into the red string I had created to collect energies. This is a house cleansing ritual that I have done over and over in many homes, and it's always interesting every single time. Thank you for listening. I'll catch you in the next episode.